Well, thanks, Daniel, for taking a few minutes to chat with me today. This has been a pretty weird year, obviously, for everyone. Normally mid-September here, you guys on the football team would be like halfway through your season almost. We've got our virtual homecoming this week, pretty different from normal. How have you personally been adjusting to all this, and has it been pretty challenging, or have you found that you've been able to roll with the punches fairly well?
Um, it hasn't been too bad. I think we're all starting to get into the groove of things now. I did take a course in the summer, so like I kind of got my first taste of, the whole online, lecture setting. So, I've got I've got pretty adjusted right now. Kind of like what I was saying before, like it's super convenient, these lectures for me, because like if you miss something that a prof was saying in class, you can just go back to the recording and just watch that clip over and over again. But then also you got to be careful with where you're watching the lectures, because if you're watching in bed like I was the other day, all cozied up, you're gonna fall asleep. So you got to be careful with that. But I think one of the biggest challenges though is kind of keeping track with like all the assignments and like what's due when, because different profs use different resources to communicate with their students. So sometimes I find myself having to bounce through my emails and then checking Canvas. There's like Piazza. There's just so many like different resources that profs use. So kind of keeping track of things, I would say, is like the biggest challenge. But besides that, like I don't find the Zoom lectures too bad.
Every team has been impacted by this pandemic, obviously, but for football was one of the big ones that had your season canceled early here, and with a big roster size, that in itself presented a lot of challenges. I know. So you guys are just back practicing this week. What has that been like for you? This year's so different, I know, in so many ways, but how have you guys been keeping together as a team before you got back on the field? And then what was that like when you're finally able to get back out there just the other day?
Yeah. So, I mean, it all kind of hit like super fast. I mean, we were kind of about to get into like our whole spring camp when this whole COVID stuff hit. So, it kind of got cut short, and, some of the guys, we were all like bummed out, but, we like, our coach, like, kept us together through the summer. We would have, uh, whole team like Zoom meetings. And then we would also have like positional meetings just to, like stay in touch with each other, but also like, talk about like football and stuff. And then now that we're actually back here, I mean, the whole team like isn't here. And it's kind of hard to get like all like 100 of us like back here, because, some people are back home, and like that's fine. But we have about, I don't know, I would say a little less than half of our roster here. So we had our practice the other day, our first practice, and it was pretty laid back. Like besides the, a lot of running and stuff, it's pretty chill. I mean, we'll get back into it, but it honestly, it just feels really good to, be back with the boys and, just get back on the field training.
Is it extra tough knowing that you don't have anything in the foreseeable future to compete towards and to compete for, or do you just kind of have to shift your mindset to, what, we got this time, let's use it in a unique way and work on our skills, and then just be roaring and ready to go for 2021?
Yeah, like I mean, even at the end of last season, like, like we've always had this goal of, getting to the champions, winning the Vanier. And I mean, yeah, it's been postponed obviously because of this year, but we have a pretty young team right now, because last year we did lose a lot of like our veteran players. So honestly, like I don't think, having this extra year to prepare is too bad for us, because of course we're really young. So we have more time to, get in the weight room, get stronger, learn the game more, practice. And honestly, like I think we we like to compete against each other. So, I mean, we always have something to compete for. We're all pretty competitive people, and we just want to be like the best we can be. So, we're in the weight room, we're always out competing. On the field, we're competing. And yeah, so we haven't lost sight of like our whole, our hunger. We're still going after it.
Obviously, the way you've been able to train is a bit different. And you mentioned the weight room. I know that's been really different this year. Having to mask up going in there. What has that all been like? That's just a really weird concept.
Yeah, I mean, the whole weight room procedures. I mean, obviously we have to sanitize when we go in, and then we got to spray everything down when we're finished, and then we got to sanitize on the way out. But then the one, kind of caveat is that we have to wear masks like at all times while we're in the weight room. So that's like during our workout, and it's kind of tough. The first day when we were working out, like me and some of the other guys, like we all felt like the pain, like we were kind of like suffocating in our masks. Me especially, because I had like this really thick cloth mask, and it was just super bad. Some other guys, like their masks were like drenched with like sweat. Like it's just kind of like annoying, but like we're getting used to it, I think. So we'll be okay. And like keeping everybody safe, is obviously like the top priority. So it's okay. Okay.
So you're back in res now. What's res life like now? I know a lot of students, like your team, half your team's there. A lot of students in general are not on campus. Is it pretty quiet around, or what's that been like?
Yeah, like where I'm staying, like it's kind of like an upper year res. So I don't know, like it's been pretty laid back. There's like obviously like limited access to like common spaces and like lounges. I know that talking to some of like the first year players, there's only like one residence open, Orchard, and I don't know. I think they're doing all right there. It's definitely like a weird experience because a big part of res I think is socializing and meeting new people nice and close to you. But obviously it's kind of hard with like where we're at right now, but yeah, we're all coping pretty well, I think. Yeah.
So once all this is said and done, hopefully sooner than later, aside from being able to actually compete and play again and kind of get our lives back to normal in general, what are you missing the most? What are you most looking forward to being able to do again?
Honestly, like I just want to play. Like I saw like a couple Instagram posts about the homecoming, and like obviously like we play in the homecoming. It's one of like our biggest like events, and just not being able to play kind of sucks because we always have fun in those games. But yeah, I think it's just getting back, actually playing games. It's gonna be a long wait, but we're just gonna keep training until we're there. So we're the best we can be.
Sounds good, Daniel. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes to chat. Best of luck with everything this year, and I know we all can't wait to see you guys back on the field in action, and I think homecoming next year will be even extra raucous.
Sure, yes, for sure.